on YouTube, and then I'm going to open up the webinar. Okay, so we should see folks joining in.
All right, let's see who's coming in here. Hey guys, looks like people are getting into our live broadcast. We're getting the show going. So I see Adrian, Clay, Adam, Jay, Jeremy, Kenneth, Major, Neil, Preston, Ramakrishnan, Tim, Timothy, Tony, Will. So we'll give it a couple minutes here just to let it roll in. Hey, in the chat section, go ahead and just maybe let us know where you guys are calling in from or where you guys are watching this from. That'd be pretty cool. And these events are very interactive, right? Are they interactive?
They should be.
What does that mean? What does it mean to be
Question,
interactive?
ask questions. What's up, Andrew? What do you think interactive means?
Yeah, ask questions, share ideas.
Sweet. Okay.
Awesome. So we've got Kenneth from Tucson, Arizona, Carlos from Colombia, Jeremy's from Rochester, New York. We got Tony in from Dallas, Rigoberto from Monterrey, Mexico. And you'll notice also in the Zoom, you've got the QA, a little bit of a little chat thing there. If there's any questions along the way, let's say we're doing our thing, we're talking about stuff, go ahead and type your question in there. And I'll either answer it inside the chat or inside the Q&A, or we'll do it live. Yeah, you want to go ahead and make some introductions and we'll get the show on the road?
Yeah, totally. So first of all, the device we're going to be talking about today is the Advantech predictive maintenance sensor. So we'll unbox that in just a sec. But from Advantech, we have Andrew Lund. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, Andrew, to give us a little bit of background on, Advantech and what you do there, and yeah, a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Yeah, well, thanks, guys. So my name's Andrew. I'm the product manager for this product. Advantech is about a 30-year-old company, a couple billion in sales approaching this year. So really, actually the largest industrial PC manufacturer, but we've got a line of sensing and wireless IoT stuff, have operations all over the world. I always get this number wrong. I think it's about 6,000 employees. So yeah, big company looking for sharp, really talented partners and ways to market. And that's why we're on with My Devices. We're super excited about this partnership.
Sweet.
And yeah. Where are you calling in from today?
Yeah, from Minneapolis, Minnesota, my remote office.
It's sweet. And you said it's a little rainy and cold, yeah?
Yeah, we got 6 inches of snow, and it's I'm positioned to actually not be looking out the window today, so keep my spirits up here.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. How do you want to start off? You want to start off with the unboxing video, and then we'll go from there?
Yeah, so yeah, that's great. So for everybody out there, Kevin and I are with My Devices, as a lot of you probably know. And what we do is we partner with companies like Advantech, and we bring their sensors in, and we've got hundreds of manufacturing partners and hundreds of sensors. And what we do is really make it easy for system integrators and guys that want to actually use these sensors to do real deployments to just scan it and use it. So we do all the provisioning, the programming, and everything so that when you grab the device, you take it out of the box, scan a QR code, and use it. And that's on the My Devices app or any app or third-party platform that you want to use. So we're obviously spotlighting this device today. So I'm going to go ahead and share a video. This is, some of you have seen this on YouTube already, but this is our unboxing video of the Advantech predictive maintenance sensor. So I'm going to share screen, make sure the sound is on, and you guys just take a look, and this is what we'll be talking about.
Yeah, we'll start here, guys.
The Advantech condition monitoring sensor provides a cost-effective way of monitoring motors, pumps, and other industrial equipment while following the ISO 10816 standard. It reduces risk of factory shutdown, requires no wiring, and can be installed by anybody. Target applications for this device include pumps, HVACs, fans, and conveyor belts. This device is IP67 816 standards, uses two 3.6 volt AA batteries, has 2 years of battery life, and has an operating temperature between -20 and 50 degrees Celsius. Included in the package is the WISE 2410 module, stud mount, magnetic base, and the quick start guide. Like with all of our devices, you simply scan the QR code to begin using the device on any platform. The data types included in this sensor are velocity RMS, acceleration RMS, peak acceleration, and temperature. When you first take this out of the box, you can tell that it's a really lightweight device and it's really small. It's 8 centimeters tall, just 4.5 centimeters in diameter. So what you're gonna wanna do first is pop the lid off here and insert the batteries in order to get it working. So you just simply twist this top off and you're left with 2 separate pieces. The base unit is where the AA batteries are held. And what you're gonna wanna do is take this out and place the batteries in. You wanna be really careful with the wires not to break them or get them tangled. You take it out, you put the AA batteries in, and then you just reinsert it back into the base. And now you are ready to screw the lid back on and get it working again. When you screw the lid on, it's really important to make sure that the arrows line up. So you want to twist this all the way around until it's fully tight and the arrows are perfectly lined up. And then now you are ready to go. On the top of the device lid, there's a power button. You simply push the button and then you'll see the LED light turn on, and that's how you know the device has been powered on properly. On the side of the device, there's a gray housing. If you pop that open, you will see inside there is a port for a micro B USB interface. So you can plug in your USB cable into your computer to do configuration and programming on the device, or you can plug it into power and use it as a power source in the absence of AA batteries. There's actually 3 ways to install this device. There's a stud mount, a glue and mounting pad, and then the magnetic base. Here in front of me, I have the magnetic base. On the bottom of the module, there is an insert and it attaches to the magnetic base, and then you just simply screw it on and it connects very easily. And now what you have is the ability to magnetically connect this device to any piece of equipment and start receiving your data. On the bottom of the device, you'll notice the X and Y axis markers. These are used for installation. They simply tell you which direction to put the device against the motor so that you're installing it properly. The X needs to line up with the rotation of the motor, and then everything else will fall into place from there. With all that in mind, the device has so many features and so many tools, but at the end of the day, it's easy to use, it gets you up and running really quickly, it's cost effective, and it solves a major problem. My Devices provides hundreds of pre-programmed sensors from manufacturers. All right, so learn more, visit our website. I guess we weren't done. Okay, first of all, Andrew, did we do the device justice? Like, what did we miss? Was it good? Was it bad? What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's like when you see your kid in the school photo for the first time, right? And it's like, oh, wow, it doesn't look so bad, even if it's not my camera. Yeah, no, it's awesome. I think you hit all the main points. You know, it's, yeah, I mean, there's a lot we can talk about it, but as far as unboxing, that's great. I mean, I think it's also cool to see how it is joined to your app. That's something that might be kind of new for some of the folks who are joining from the Advantech side or Advantech partners, because yeah, the My Devices app is where the rubber meets the road.
Awesome. Yeah. So I guess that's interesting. You know, you said that there's more about the device. So give us the insights. You know, you've been banging your head on this device for a while. You probably you know all the ins and out of it. So like, why is it so special? Why did you guys decide to build it? Like, what drove that? You know, were people begging for this thing, or like, you know, what? Give me the why. Yeah,
sure. So I mean, you know, it's interesting because when you hear like this is a vibration sensor, all of us kind of intuitively get like vibration, right? Whether it's the guy with the big bass subwoofer in the car next to us in traffic, or your ceiling fans vibrating crazy at home. Like, we kind of all intuitively understand what vibration is and why it matters. But there's kind of been this gap, right, between a very simple when it comes to the industrial application of vibration sensing and analysis. There's kind of been this gap between, on the one hand, like really simple raw data reporting that takes a lot of analysis to make it useful on the one hand, and then on the other hand, PhDs or very highly trained technicians and engineers walking around with suitcases or tablets and specialized equipment doing very, very deep, detailed vibration analysis. So what makes this product really cool is kind of filling that gap by providing useful vibration information in a timely manner over LoRaWAN. And it's a great, it's a great fit, especially for our Advantech channel, because we have, I mentioned earlier, industrial PCs, panel PCs, high, really deep technology in terms of visual, factory visualization stuff. Well, all of those are used in areas that are, factory floor that's full of motors, frankly. So this is just a great fit of like technology with our channel as well, I think.
Yeah, and in terms of like what is it replacing in terms of like how are people getting along before this device was created? Like what would people be doing, or like what's the replacement?
Yeah. Well, it's I guess back in maybe 20 years ago, people would be walking around with analog device measurement and clipboard. That's maybe a little bit of a kind of a, I don't know, cliched way to put it. I mean, really what people would do today is they would walk around with a little, almost like a, tablet on a lanyard, hook up a vibration analysis tool, record data, go back and plug it in and do. I mean, vibration analysis is I don't think it's an exaggeration to say it's a science, and I'm not a vibration analysis scientist by any means, but that's kind of what they would have been doing. And so you would have a row of motors, a row upon row, depending on the size of the facility, each one being checked at a time and then analyzed for potential failure or maintenance needs and so forth.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's kind of like, I mean, the analogy I would give is like, imagine a doctor going around a hospital, dozens of rooms in a hospital, and doing full blood work and lab work and physical of each patient, and then going back to his or her office and analyzing it. That obviously doesn't scale. That doesn't make sense. What you really need to know is vital signs, right? Reporting vital signs. And that's what we have in hospitals, right? Vital sign reporting. That's analogous, or that's, I think kind of a good metaphor for what the WISE 2410 does with the My Devices platform, is report, key health metrics, vibration metrics, to speed up that device maintenance and potential failure avoidance, frankly.
Yeah.
So some of the questions that are coming in right now. So Will wants to know the device reporting frequency and the battery life. And there's some other questions, but if you could start with that, that'd be great.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good question. If you think back to the example the shortest answer is 2 years with hourly reporting. If you think back to the example I gave earlier of someone who's collecting a bunch of doing this in a battery efficient or a power efficient way over LoRaWAN is pretty complex. And so the way we do it is basically using velocity RMS value over FFT. I don't want to get into it all. Like I said, I'm not a scientist in this area, but it's optimized for long battery life and LoRaWAN radio transmission, let's put it that way.
Yeah, and it's running off just AA batteries, right? So it's not like it's some science project to go in there and replace those. And 2 years is pretty significant. And we've seen that with all LoRa devices, right? The low power, we've seen temperature sensors lasting 5+ years in some of our deployments. So
yeah. And Preston is asking, how does he mix this data into Historian? And so maybe the first thing we should show, you want to go into the application itself and show integrations. So he's going to log into a typical account, and we're going to show how the data gets collected into the app, which is a basic visualization. But then you have the ability to set up what we call an integration to make the data go into any third-party application. So
so this is the My Devices application, right? And I'm just jumping right ahead to, you've already got this device on a motor, not a pump, and these are like the ISO 10816 metrics here that, is showing the vibration readings coming from that motor, pump, or engine, and then the readings, coming out of our app. And again, if I just go back into the My Devices application, this is kind of where, if you scan in those devices, whatever they are with their QR codes, you can manage multiple locations and click on a specific location and then see the different sensors that are in there. One of them maybe being the predictive maintenance sensor, which I was showing here. Now, from there, what you can do is, what we've created there is, with the ability to just scan that device in. There's no programming that needs to be done on the device because, My Devices handles that. There's no connecting. We include the LoRa network server. We include all of that you need. So you literally can just scan it, and then you have the charts and everything like you see here on the app. But then you have the ability to go into our integrations and forward that data to any of these platforms with a single click. Or you can forward, using webhooks, you can put a custom URL and forward it to any third-party platform. And the reason why that's so significant is because by just scanning that device and getting the data in, and the LoRa network server and all the programming on the device is done, you have that normalized decoded data. Now you can flow it into, I don't remember what the system was, but any system, any third-party system that you want to be able to do work ticketing through, or if it's a building management system with building automation and that sort of thing. So
yeah, and I think they wanted to do like the OPC UA historian, so something more on a local. We can take that one offline. It's a little bit more complex doing something local, but you can get the data out and into a third-party application pretty easily.
Yep.
Another question that came in from Will is there any edge processing on the device to fit into the LoRa packet size constraints?
Yeah. No, that's a good question. I was kind of brushed up against that question because so yes, the answer is yes. We're not just reporting raw like a G value or something. We are doing basically a velocity root mean square value that's reported in an FFT fast Fourier transform. But so there is some computing, but it's not. It's important to know that it's not a full like vibration analysis. I mean, you'd run out of battery in a matter of hours doing real heavy vibration analysis.
Yeah,
but
Andrew, I'm pulling up my screen. I actually put one of these on my pool pump in my backyard. Yeah, and I think this is the one. Let me see here. I'm pulling up the weekly view. So, and I'm looking at the velocity RMS Z-axis, and it's quite interesting because you can see.
What does this mean? Like, I'm looking at this. Like, what does this actually mean?
Okay. Yeah, so as I hover over, it shows like on October 16th at 3:28 p.m., you're seeing some vibration taking place, right? So it's on, it's going. Then at 1:28 a.m., it's off, and you see, boom, it goes, down, right? And then the next day, you're seeing, almost the same times throughout the week. It comes on and off at the same time. Actually, that's funny. This must have been a Tuesday, because that means my pool guy was there at 3:28. But normally it comes on at 6:28 and it goes off like around 1:28 in the morning. And so you're seeing things are okay. So here's the Z-axis, but we can also see the X-axis, the peak Y-axis, and then you can go in here and we can actually go and create alerts on here as well. So if I wanted to go and create an alert on any one of those values, I just go into create alert. I select the particular device that I'm looking for. I select which value I want to set on. And then I can go, is it above this? Is it below this? If there were 10 readings in a row. And I can also do additional rules on here, like, don't alert me between these hours, or only alert me if the condition remains for a certain amount of time. And then I can do notify contacts. Like I can add recipients to receive SMS or emails or that kind of thing. And don't forget, you can deploy these in different companies in different locations, and then you can have different rules and permissions with the different people. So it's a live account. I don't want to screw around too much, but
so it sounds like you have. So it's not only a vibration sensor for pool pumps and motors and other things, but it's also a pool guy inspection audit.
Yeah,
sensor.
I can see if he actually showed up on time. Exactly. Yeah, so that's kind of just a good little overview. And let me go back into some Q&A here.
Yeah. And while he's doing that, just to get you guys an up close look on the device here in studio. So I know you guys saw the unboxing video and everything, but this is all it is. And inside the box, there's the magnetic base. So Kevin, you've put this on your pool pump, but how easy it was, I guess, to install is, first off. And then what I also want to talk to Andrew about is, I'm biased about, what My Devices is doing and everything. But, from your side, like if you were to offer this device to somebody, I'm curious to know, like, what instructions do you give? Like, if they weren't using my devices at all, and they said, "Hey, I want to get one of these devices." Like, what's the level of effort compared to getting it from my devices? Like in terms of programming the device and what the steps are to actually get this thing to be usable.
No, that's a good question. I mean, it's I definitely don't. I don't think that I would I'm first of all, as a marketing person, I know like sometimes we're prone to talk about things being plug and play. I don't think it's certainly safe to say plug and play in terms of the ease with the My Devices integration and using My Devices. Without My Devices, so it's a LoRaWAN vibration sensor, right? So it'll work with any LoRaWAN gateway on the market. And then so the question becomes, how easy is it to set up a LoRaWAN network with those different solutions out there? How easy is it to send that data? I mean, when you were showing just a few minutes previously, you were showing that the chart and then the the color-coded like ISO 10816 chart showing. You should almost go back to that for a second because it's I don't know if it's, how easy that would be, but I think that screenshot and that little demo snippet really speaks to just how valuable the My Devices platform is with this. So if for our audience here. And I would almost even just speak for a second to our partners, the Advantech folks who are familiar with Advantech, industrial PC and products. When you go into a customer site and when you're working with people, they have different size machines, they have all this engineering talent and so forth. Being able to, actually, well, I don't know if you can bring. There was a screen where you were showing actually the vibration behavior. And there was labeled, like that chart is, acceptable, unacceptable, satisfactory.
It's this one here, right? This.
Yeah. Okay. So on this, what they've done is, if you see in the top right-hand corner, it says velocity ISO 10816 for class 1 small machines. So that's there are different classes of machines, obviously, that's defined in this ISO spec. And obviously, a big machine can vibrate a lot more than a small machine, and so forth. So this normalizes that and presents it. Going from, and Cameron, I'll answer your question, I promise.
No, this is great. This is awesome.
I think what I was trying to communicate is that going from, I ordered a part number for this sensor and a part number for a gateway, to now I see it presented, is a really significant gap, right? And it takes, it's not that it can't be done. Obviously, you guys have done it, but you've already done it. It's just awesome. It's hard for me to overemphasize how cool it is to see it presented like this and know how easy it is to get here with your app.
So one of the things that's really important, and I'm going to answer some other questions because there's quite a few questions that are coming in, is that what happens is the gateways that we ship with these, they're already pre-provisioned. The LoRaWAN network server is already set up on your behalf. So when you scan those in, it automatically creates the network. So it literally, you just like the sensor, you scan it in and it just sets it all up. You don't have to do anything else. So the LoRa network server is included in there. Now you can deconstruct that. If you want to use your own LoRa network server, you can also do that. So one of the questions in here was, Ravi was asking, can this be white labeled? Well, actually that's our business model, right? We enable system integrators, we enable resellers, ISVs, anybody who wants to deploy solutions, we enable them to go resell these to the end customer. We're typically not the guys selling to the end customer. We don't do that. We refer those deals to you. But that's what we do, is we make it possible for you guys to go out and deploy these. And so one question on here from John, he says, conveyor belt, 1,000 feet. How many feet between sensors? And Andrew, I'm going to take a guess at this, but you need to keep me honest. Okay, my understanding is, like on a conveyor belt, for the most part, what you're really checking is the motors that are driving the belt. And I think what you would do is you would mount one of these actually at the motor itself. Is that accurate, or is that not an accurate statement?
Yeah, that's the direction I was going to go with it too. I mean, it depends on what you're sensing. If you're looking for like bearing failure at the individual, like, conveyor cylinder section of a belt, that would be one thing. Or maybe you have an automated roller belt, set up, or I don't know. But yeah, for the WISE 2410 that we're talking about specifically, it's going to monitor high speed rotating equipment, i.e. a motor. So that's, yeah, I would have answered it basically the same way you did, Kevin.
Okay. And then one of the other questions in here was battery life and single strength indicators. So inside the application itself, we do get the battery strength or the battery life and the single strength, and you can even set up alerts on that. So if a battery is getting too low, you can send off to the facility manager or whoever's looking at these things to replace the battery. Same thing with single strength. If you go deploy these, in your facility, and this is too far away, you'll actually see what they call the RSSI, and that's live inside of our dashboard. So you'll be able to see that as well. Okay, hold on 1 second here.
So yeah, what I think, I'll do the overhead here again. So what I'd like to show, and there's probably more questions, but I'm actually able to share from my phone to kind of give you guys the experience of, what Kevin's talking about between, getting these devices, setting up the gateway with a LoRa network server included and setting up the sensor. So if I share my screen again, on the marketplace, as an example, this is the marketplace that we set up where, you can get all these devices. And one of them is the Advantech sensor is on here. So you can grab it, pick it up, and then, it arrives to you, and here it is, and you have your gateway as well. And then if I share my actual phone here.
And just so you guys know, so one of the QA questions was Ravi said, hey, thanks, how do I get a demo kit? Instead of presentations, customers would love to see a live demo, and that is 100% true. They do, because they hear a bunch of blah, 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 but we don't give you that. We give you something that actually works. So he's going to show you how you would scan in the how you'd scan in the gateway, how you'd scan in the sensor. So you can actually buy that off of our marketplace today. We are also available through Ingram Micro, and we are starting to branch out to other distributors as well.
Yep.
But Cameron's going to show you how easy, when you receive these gateway and the sensor, how easy it is.
Yeah, so basically, you get the full solution from our site. And let's say you just want a demo kit because you want to show your customer. So you get a gateway and you get the device. So the gateway can be cellular or Ethernet. Cellular is always easier because you just plug it into power and it works. But then you've got the app, and on the screen you can see in my app, this is my account, and I've got locations set up in here, and I just kind of monitor different things. But if I click on one of those locations under menu and then go to add gateway, first of all, it'll throw me into this camera, and you can see Jason, our video guy, and there's Kevin, a little behind the scenes. But anyway, so here's the gateway, and if I flip it over, here's the QR code on the side of the gateway. So the first thing I'm going to do is shoot the QR code, and then it's going to say, there's your device number, and you can give it a name and all of that. But then just like that, now the gateway is set up, and I'll pause there for a second, because what's happened there is not only is the gateway added to the account and associated to your account, but it's active. The LoRa network server is active. The gateway turns on. And if you get a cellular one, the SIM card's hot too. So now the network stood up, and now the gateway's online, packet forwarding, and listening for sensors. And then you can see in the app, it gets thrown back into the camera. And now I pick up the sensor and then scan the QR code. And now I can give it a name. I can say we're going to monitor Kevin's pool pump, or whatever it is. And then I just add that device to the account. And now literally all I need to do, now it's all set up. Obviously these aren't on, nothing's plugged in, but now I can just turn the actual sensor on by pushing the power button, and it works. And then those dashboards that we were showing earlier, where you've got the charts and the graphs and the alerts and the reports and everything else that, all those features that come with the My Devices platform are now available just by scan, and use. And now you can go showcase that to your customers. And then when they say, okay, now we want to scale out, then as Kevin said, okay, then there's the opportunity to white label the platform and all of that, and then source the hardware through us so that everything comes pre-provisioned, so you can scan everything in just that easily. So just wanted to share that. And what other questions do we have, I guess, at this point?
They were asking, Preston was asking, do we have ISO alerts set up for my pool pump? No. I should, but I don't. But I could, but I don't at the moment. Where we're seeing a lot of deployments right now of these is wastewater treatment plants. We have some large customers that are deploying them at wastewater treatment plants. There's some testing at a large automobile manufacturer, so I can't say which one. We just started marketing this, but we're seeing a lot of interest in anything that has to do with very large machines. Yeah, Andy, anything that we're missing here that we should be bring it up?
No, no, I don't. I mean, I don't think so. This is great. It's really cool to have all the questions come in, and yeah, I'm just looking through some of them now. Actually, there was one. I don't know if you mind if Preston had asked about the bandwidth of the sensor. Yeah, it's like up to 10 kilohertz. So that's pretty typical. Let's see.
Cool. Gotcha. Okay. So Ravi, we answered your question. You can get the demo kit off of our site.
Yep.
You can pass the data out of any platform. Ravi also asked, which platform are you using, Azure or AWS? The default one that we ship out is that the gateway actually works through Azure IoT Hub, and you can actually do device management with Azure IoT Hub. And then when the data passes into our cloud, it also can pass natively into IoT Central, including the device template. So every single one of our devices spits out a device template that works inside the Azure IoT ecosystem. So it's native there, but it also works on AWS. It doesn't matter. It is cloud agnostic, but when it comes out of the box, it's on Azure.
Yeah, and keep in mind, there's, getting a demo kit off our site is one thing. That's the quickest way to just get something in your hands, get it working, and show your potential customers. And then as you get to the point where they're like, okay, now we want to deploy at scale, we can get into the weeds of like, okay, there's a requirement on which server it has to live on and all of that, and we can deal with those. And just to kind of show you again on the screen share here, I'll slow it down this time because I was kind of flying through this for the demo. But if you come to our site, store.mydevices.com, this is where you can find all of these different solutions. And you'll find this sensor that we're talking about today. Actually, there's some other stuff from Advantech as well. But here's this one right here. So you can just go on into the marketplace and go ahead and just add quantities and all of that here, and just add these right to your cart and just pick up the demo kit. And you can use these on, you can pick up gateways as well from the top, cellular or Ethernet gateways. Or if you have, LoRa public network coverage in your area, you can choose your network provider, and it all comes pre-provisioned to those networks.
Yeah, very important. It's pre-provisioned to those networks. So the app keys, the dev UIs, it's all in the magic of the scan. It automatically works. So Matt just joined in, and he actually just sent a question. He said, a bit off topic, and sorry I'm late, I missed it, but are there more Advantech sensors for LoRaWAN My Devices planned? Would love photo eyes for use on our plant floor. And I'd love to know more about photo eyes, but Andrew, any more stuff planned from Advantech, and are you familiar with what photo eyes are?
I'm just going to guess what photo eyes are. No, I mean, we don't, I'm going to have to check into that one. But yeah, we do have other more general purpose. What's the best way to put this? If you go on to and I recommend going on to My Devices, like Mart or the online store. I'm not calling it the right thing, but their online store essentially, right? And you can see the different devices. There's hundreds of devices out there. What's kind of unique that we're going to try to add here is a LoRaWAN to GPIO, so general purpose IO. So if you want to read certainly different analog or digital values, but then RS-485 for like a Modbus. Reading Modbus registers. So that's kind of what we have planned. But I'm going to check out photo eyes. That's actually, I'll be honest, it's the first I've heard of that term.
Okay. Yeah.
Same.
Do me a favor, switch to the down, and then let me show everybody. So here's what's interesting. So in our application, you scan in the gateway.
Oh, give me a sec here. I'm sorry. Let me get you. There we go.
Hey,
now people can see
we're
you.
just playing with cameras here. So after you scan in the gateway, and it could be a Tectelic, a Multitech, Gemtech, all pre-configured, you scan it in. So what happens is it works with the Advantech sensor, of course, but you can also add other sensors. So temperature sensor, leak, all those sensors that are on our site are all pre-provisioned to scan them and make them all come into the one platform. And why that's important is, let's go ahead and go to the app real quick, if you don't mind.
Yep.
A lot of times inside of, let's say, a factory or wherever you're doing your IoT, it's not just one problem. And you're going to need to be able to mix and match a variety of different stuff. So if you want to be able to trigger something on or off based on the units that you get off of this device, you're able to do that with our solution. If you want to be able to add other sensors like for HVAC, or for indoor air quality, or for people counting. All of that works inside of the same application, which is really important because it's not just like one vertical solution that you're trying to solve.
Yeah, and I think the other important part to that is for a lot of people, taking these devices, like all of these that you see here, and creating a solution around them by mixing and matching them. Not only, in our application, you can scan them all in and you see the charts and everything's in one platform. But what we've done is with the scan technology, when that comes in, when you're building those integrations out to a third-party platform, whether you're creating your own custom app or you're using a work ticketing system or anything else, the way that the data is coming out from our platform into any other third-party platform is the same way, no matter what the sensor is. Like once you scan it in, it then gets normalized and then sent out the same way. So once you have an integration with the device in our platform, you then have the same integration for all the other 400 devices that we have. So you can easily start to mix and match and build solutions. And all of these are, contributing to that solution, and all from different vendors and different manufacturers. So that's, how we really make it easy for you guys to just say, hey, my customer needs, and we get this all the time. People come to us and say, water quality, or somebody's asking me about, this solution or that solution. And we're able to just kind of say, okay, this sensor with that sensor and this one, put that together, and then here, and it solves their problem for them really easily. So.
Yeah, and John Sine sent us a chat. He said, I want to do a demo at a prospect, and using the cellular gateway, is there a way I can plug it into the gateway with a laptop so I can show the dashboard? Just trying to keep it simple. Just want to be a demo self-contained. Not exactly sure I understand that, but I can tell you this. I know that Cameron is doing demos all day long, and you can put them out anywhere in the middle of an airport, and you can take one of these, plug it in, scan in the sensor, show the dashboard not only on your laptop, but also on your cellular device, because it works on iOS and Android. It's a progressive web application. It's really pretty great. And when you white label it, it has all of your branding on site of it. And I think we only showed you the front end application. Did we show the back end?
No, we haven't yet. No.
Okay. So there's a back end console. And do you have that up? Or should I pull that up? Okay.
Yeah, maybe you pulled up on yours. I don't think I have the login on this computer.
All right, you go ahead and talk through this.
So and just to kind of, maybe I can try a little bit on that on the question. So I think that, I was traveling a ton up until COVID. I was on an airplane like every single day, demoing these solutions and in front of different prospects. And I used to do demos on the fly all the time, just because these are cellular gateways. So as long as you can get power to this thing and there's cellular connectivity, everything just works. And I've got my phone showing demos. So if you have your demo kit, it is mobile, and you should be able to very easily kind of showcase the power of it, no matter where you are. So hopefully that answers what you're looking for.
Cool. And then, so what Cameron was demoing before was your front end application, right? This is what you would use. This is what the installers would use. You can upload your sensor maps and stuff. But there's this back end console. This is how you manage your customers. So you can pull into your customers. You can do things like remote assistance. You can look up their details. You can upload devices. You can reset passwords. And then you've got a device registry here. You can look up devices. So you can do support on this. And then you have your white label settings. And in here, this is where you customize like your email and your logo and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and device templates I think are pretty interesting too. So this is something where every single device has multiple different solutions, is what we like to say. So a door sensor can track if a door is open or closed, or it can track how many times the door has been open or closed, or it can track how long the door has been open or closed. Some customers want their alerts to say one thing, and other customers want their alerts to say other things. So we can very easily modify things at the device template level, what data is shown, how the data is decoded, and all of that with this backend tool. So we can just make minor tweaks at the cloud level that will impact all of the devices that are deployed. So without having to update the firmware on devices or do any kind of hard changes on the physical device, we can modify things like alert types and uses and attributes and all of that make up what we call our device template. And to kind of give you, an idea of what a device template is, when you guys saw me scan the QR code of this device, and then you saw the picture, and then the video with how to install, and then the instructions for how to turn it on, that's all embedded in the device template. But then in addition to that, there are actually technical features in the device template as well.
Yeah, and what that enables you to do is you can see, like I'm showing the screen, like capabilities. Like if you wanted the order of how it shows on the front end, so the temperature wasn't the number one, you can move that down to somewhere else.
Yep.
And you can rename these things. So you can create templates off of templates, which is very powerful.
Yeah. So all of this comes with, this doesn't, like if you were to buy a demo kit, you don't get access to this. This is for our partners that are licensing the platform, white labeling, and going to market with our solutions and our library of sensors. But yeah, these are some of the tools that we've made it really, really easy to just deploy IoT solutions. I mean, at the end of the day, for you guys listening, your main focus should be, I've got a customer, they've got a problem. Here's a sensor that can solve it. Let's just make it happen. And we kind of do everything else in between. So.
Yeah, this is all in the background. You don't have to worry about any of this stuff unless you have something specific that you need to worry about or want to worry about. That's the power to be able to change the things back behind the scenes.
Yep.
Let me see if there's any other questions that are in here. I'm going to make sure that we're not saving.
Yeah, I was going to chime in on a couple, just quick, Kevin. Yeah, there's a couple kind of devicey types answers or questions. And okay, photo eye. I'm getting texts from my colleagues who have been in the industry longer than I have. Like, you idiot, how come you don't know that? No, they didn't say idiot. They probably just thought that. So yeah, photo eye just is like senses the presence of something. So you're just counting bottles going by on a conveyor belt sort of thing. So it would put out a digital output, and that would go into that WISE 4610 that we're talking about. And so we'll have to add that to the app. But that's something that could certainly be done. And then there's a question about the Advantech gateway. Yeah, that's gone through the process, and that'll work with My Devices app as well. There was a question: do we have the WISE 2410 temperature reporting? Is that plumbed into the My Devices app? And I actually don't know the answer to that. I don't know if
it's in the payload. Yeah, it's in the payload, and it shows up. Yep, for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And actually, I'm kind of curious now about this other WISE device, and maybe that'll be our next unboxing that we do with you guys, and we can get back on and talk about it, because that's actually really interesting. So it actually counts, I guess, like on a conveyor line, like objects going by. Am I understanding that correctly? Like, yeah, you're like,
yeah. It's well, it takes it's like general purpose IO. So any sensor that's putting out an IO value, analog or digital IO, it would read.
I gotcha.
So it could be a level sensor. How full is the grain bin? How much pressure is the water meter producing on a hydroelectric plant? Whatever. Also, we do have customers who are using that product to read Modbus registers from a PL. Now we're getting real industrial kind of thing here, but basically talking to a PLC and sending that data to a web application. And I think that's a whole other topic we should get into.
Yeah, we should definitely at some point, because Modbus is like becoming like this hidden little gem that people haven't thought about. But like you said, we should probably do that on another show, because it's deep. Like you can read really almost anything in a factory floor. So it's not replacing PLC SCADA, but I think it's supplementing in parallel, because it costs so much to wire up things. So if you can do a wireless Modbus and pull data out. Another question we had, Matt was just asking, what about a proximity sensor? Yes, we have proximity sensors, sonar sensors. We got a whole bunch of sensors. You can use all those. But yeah, I think hopefully we answered everybody's questions. Like we said, all of this is available for sale today. This is not just slideware. You can purchase this, get it shipped to you, scan it in, and you can use it, play with it, take it to your customers. And if you want to white label our application and go resell this to your end customers, that's what we do. So whether it's in your own platform or ours, so that's important. So our app, it's really just, it's a full featured app that's being used at Kaiser and St. Luke's and Marriott and a whole bunch of other places. So it's amazing. It works great. You can put your brand on it. But there are many companies that we service that are our customers that have their own app, their own dashboard. You don't have to use our app. You can just use all of our provisioning and all that other stuff, and then it can flow into your dashboard.
Yep.
So very, very important. But I think we hit it. I think we got most everybody, all the questions answered.
Yep.
How'd we do?
Andrew, how'd we do?
Awesome. Let's do it again.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, anytime. Yeah, it's really, really good. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it was great having you on. I appreciate you jumping on and joining us and giving us your intel and insight. And yeah, it's always good to just kind of have these discussions and you learn new things. So we should talk about some of the other devices you have, make sure that those make their way onto the marketplace. So, all of our viewers here can see those. And for everybody else that's out there, again, thanks for your time as well. And if you want more information on any of this, jump onto our website. There's a contact form on there. You can request info. We'll schedule a call with you and go a little bit deeper. If you're interested in white labeling or you're interested in getting a demo kit, yeah, you can just go to the site and you'll see everything you need there.
Yeah. So thanks, guys. Signing off from Burbank, California, and Minneapolis.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Love it. Right on, guys. Well, have a
See you guys.
wonderful rest of the week.
See you guys.